For me, diversity is about everything that makes us similar and everything that makes us different. It includes race and gender, the obvious things that we see, but it also includes thinking style and sexual orientation and religion and background and also socioeconomic status. It's about, honestly, every single thing that makes us similar to each other and every single thing that makes us different. And I think that it's about trying to be inclusive in all of the things that we do. Whenever we're looking around a table, it's about listening for the voice that looking for that voice we don't see, and then how do we include it and then listen to it. Our world in America specifically has been designed to put people in different groups. And then how do we now, for me, is how do we look at all those different groups and make sure that everyone feels valued, feels respected, feels included. Oftentimes we go into a mindset that there's one size fits all, and it isn't. So for me, it's really important, not just for how we provide care, but how we employ, how do we go after different markets, to realize every person is an individual, and that requires us to listen more to each individual. I think the first tool, believe it or not, is just listening and engaging. I think oftentimes people forget that the tool starts with us. If you're not engaging in your personal life in a way that it helps you engage with people who are different than you, I can promise you it's going to be very difficult for you to do at work. So when people think about what can they do differently today than what they've done tomorrow or even yesterday, it's really figuring out, when you look at your everyday situation, are you interacting with people who are completely different than you? And if you're not, that's where you need to start. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable. It requires us to actually have exercise levels of empathy and understanding, but it requires us, in my opinion, to spend time with people learning, hearing their story, and how do we somehow make that part of our story. I tell people, whenever we've created an us, we by default have created a them. And oftentimes we're unaware when we've created the them. So whenever I feel comfortable, I have an us situation, I oftentimes trying to figure out, okay, well, who is the them? And that involves me getting interaction from folks who are around me. So my family, my friends, my colleagues, my bosses, people who I trust to help me figure that out, because oftentimes I'm unaware. I think the biggest challenge is understanding. It is spending time trying to understand the other. Oftentimes instead, we categorize, we label, we stereotype, and we vilify the other. And if we realize the other is now becoming the norm for us as a country, then it means that the biggest challenge is trying to get us on the same side. It will require us in our organizations to think differently about how we're going after markets, how we're capitalizing on different business opportunities. But I think in the end, studies have shown that a more diverse population helps us actually become more profitable. It helps us actually engage with different groups in a way that we've never done before. And as I said earlier, it really helps us with increasing authenticity. We have to realize that we are part of creating the environment we want to be in. It means that we have to have a self-diagnosis process in. How do we take a flashlight to ourselves to look at and determine, am I playing a part in this? Even if I'm just standing still, I'm still playing a part. Having constructive uncertainty around, it's not just those people, it's all of us. So if we're engaging or not engaging, I always tell people we all have every opportunity and every day to interact with someone who's different. Why aren't we? We spend a lot of time talking about ourselves, despite what most people may think. But we don't talk about who we really are. We usually talk about all the labels, all the different things that we put on top of who we are, because we think, I love how my father talks about we all wear different masks depending upon what room we're in. How do we remove those masks and get to the core of who you are? And who you are has nothing to do with that label, because we're all humans. I think we often forget that one piece of it. We attach all these different labels and immediately people think you're this person, you're this or that person. But at the end of the day, we all want the same things.